Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message is all about the fact that clarity and communication equal the solution to every single one of your relational problems. And I really hope that this message gets you guys thinking out there in terms of any challenge that you're currently going through in any of your relationships right now. I almost can guarantee 100% that it comes down to these two pieces of clarity and communication, that if you get clear on what you want, what's going on for you, what you want to work towards, any sort of clarity that you can get, coupled with your ability to communicate and not expect another person to be a mind reader, or not assuming that you know what's going on for them when you just don't, and actually getting into communication where you start talking about things, you start asking questions, you start expressing how you really feel once you're clear on that. And I guarantee if you do those things, if you get clear and you communicate, you'll solve your problems in any of those relationships that you have, or at least you'll get to a point where you know that there's no more you can do in that relationship or that dynamic, and you've done your best. And but without getting that clarity piece within yourself and coupled with the courage to communicate openly and honestly, you're never going to make it through that challenge, and you guys are going to stay stuck in this, this merry-go-round of really just like this confusion and this weirdness, and so we can solve it if we just do the work to get clear and have the courage to communicate. And I want to really reiterate in this message today that nobody is a mind reader, and nobody knows what's going on for you, particularly when you don't even know what's going on for you. So you owe it to not only yourself, but the jeopardy of your relationship to get clear on what is going on for you and communicate it. But if you don't have clarity and you're expecting somebody else to, work it out for you, work out what direction you should take, work out how you feel for you, you're never going to get there. We're always trying to look for this magic pill or like handball the hard work off to somebody else. And at the end of the day, it just creates more and more work, more and more confusion, more and more relationship breakdowns, and it gets us off track completely. So I really hope that this message inspires you guys to get curious and notice where you've been expecting somebody else to potentially be a mind reader, or you're not even clear yourself and you're not having the courage to communicate, and stuff is just getting weird, confusing, and it's breaking down the connection that you've built with whoever that is, whether that's your intimate partner, your friends, your business, somebody in your business, an employee, an employer, whoever it is. Where are you not getting clear, and where are you not having the courage to communicate? So definitely want to check in with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, feedback, any way I could be adding more value to you guys. Definitely be letting me know. And awesome, Eric, awesome to have you, and Jeannie and Moises, and Sultan, hi to you, Moises, and Diogo, nice to have you, and Ram, and Chris, and Hassani, and Sarah, awesome to have you, and Akka, and Lisa, and Leonie, and Chris. I did that today. I chose to leave school and pursue my passion full time. It's scary but necessary. Awesome, Chris. I love hearing that. So I'm guessing that you got clear on what you wanted and you communicated about it and you took the action. So very, very empowering stuff. Wishing you the best of luck. And I like to think that that same feeling that we have when it's really scary is the exact same feeling of excitement. So I love that you're doing that right now, Chris. That's awesome. And Lucy, awesome to have you. And Charlie Taraiti, sorry if I butchered your name there, but awesome to have you. And Jed, clarity is essential for a happy life. Most definitely. And we tend to skip over this part. So many of us, we we skip over the authentic clarity over who we are, over what we want, and we skip straight to somebody else's solution as to what they think we should be doing or what society thinks we should be doing, and we end up in a really unfulfilling, unhappy life, and we wonder why. And it's because of that piece, like you're saying, Jed, that we need that clarity, and we need authentic clarity. And we owe it to ourselves, to everybody that we're in relationship with, to everybody who's in our lives, to get that clarity, that authentic clarity, and have the courage to communicate and take the action in alignment with that truth. So I love that. Thanks for sharing, Jed. And Francesco and Victoria. Chris, yes, clarity helped me make the move. Awesome. And Bobby, awesome to have you. And Nanad. And yes, Heidi, Lisa, and Sarah. Yeah, love it. Jay said he's not a mind reader. No, none of us are. But you know, so many of us expect somebody else to be a mind reader. We expect them to be in our experience of the world, and they're just never going to be. And particularly, oftentimes when we look at the dynamic between men and women, this is a big generalization, but it happens so much, and I've definitely been guilty of it, and probably will continue to be guilty of it. But women tend to be very indirect in our communication. We think it's really clear, and another woman would really get what we're talking about. But often, you know, we forget that men and women are equal, but we're different, and we interpret things differently. And men need what a friend of mine communicated to me the other day when I was being indirect, that maybe I should talk like a caveman. And I think it's a really good, analogy, and it takes sort of the pressure off it. But sometimes we need to talk to, you know, sometimes it's the men out there, when women are being really indirect, yet we think we're being quite direct. We're not. And men kind of need us to just be direct. Just talk to us like a caveman. Like, just tell us the truth. Tell us exactly what we mean, instead of, like, you know, being so indirect and coming around the corner, going through the side door about what we're really feeling, what we're really trying to communicate. And sometimes we actually don't even know until we're talking it out. So that's another sort of piece of the puzzle that we need to think about in terms of our communication, and recognizing that other people aren't us. They're not going to be mind readers, and there is a definite, so much to talk into in terms of how men and women's brains are wired differently, how we interpret information differently, and it's a whole nother fascinating topic I'd love to talk into. If that interests you guys, make sure that you drop a comment below and let me know, and I'd be happy to do a Facebook Live on the differences between men and women communication styles. It's really interesting, but you guys let me know. Awesome, thanks for sharing, Sarah. And Sunil, awesome to have you. And Jackie from Michigan, I love it. And Ram, clear communication enables reinforcing strong relationships. Most definitely, but we can't have clear communication until we've got that authentic clarity within ourselves, and we have the courage to communicate fully, openly, and authentically. So I love that you're sharing that here, Ram. Thank you so much. And Jackie, you're so welcome. I'm always here to encourage you guys. I appreciate that you appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Angel, awesome to have you. And yes, I love it, Sarah. And Chris, awesome to have you. And Donald and Philippe. Hi from Guadalajara. Wow, I have no idea where that is. Let me know. I want to be educated on that. And I love to watch your videos and work along with you. Awesome. I'm so grateful for you, Philippe. Thank you for being here, and thank you. I'm grateful that these messages are of value to you. It means so much to me. And Luca, I love having you here. And Chris, clarity, time management. But yes, I'm excited. Yes, I love it. Thank you. And I wasn't happy spending all that time there and learning what I already knew. Awesome. Yeah, so Chris, I can already tell that you're somebody who is committed to your personal growth, and you need to be learning, developing, and growing. And so that was probably really limiting for you. So I'm super excited for you making that move and stepping into something new and exciting. And yeah, wishing you all of the best. Thanks for sharing your experience here, Chris. Appreciate it. And Victoria and Mira and Renee, thanks for joining. And Charlie Tuati, oh my gosh, I love that you're enjoying these strong words. And Cheryl, awesome to have you. And Daniel and Victoria, I have clarity, but I'm resistant to the work it takes to put it into action. Yeah, so what I would say there, Victoria, is that you might have a level of clarity, but once you get real, true, authentic clarity, you get into this realm of really not being able to do anything but move in that direction. And what I would say to you is focus on getting even more crystal clear clarity, but also focus on your trust and belief that you can make it happen. And if that takes you doing some reflective work in terms of reflecting back into your life where you have been successful in taking action and making things work, use that as what I like to call our courage generators, so that we can step into that action and remind yourself that it is in action that breeds that fear and more doubt and keeps you stuck. And it's in the taking of action that you'll generate more and more courage and confidence and be able to get towards those results. So hope that was helpful for you too, for you, Victoria. Let me know, and appreciate you sharing your comments here. And Ram, clarity is key to get the required focus. Yeah, exactly. So you can't really focus until you get the clarity, can you? You can't really focus on what you need to be doing until you've got the clarity, the vision, the picture, so you know the direction. So I love that, Ram. Thanks for sharing. And yes, and Katrin from Estonia, awesome to have you. And Jen, I've learned to ask for what I want clearly. Most definitely. And I think it's a lesson that each and every one of us needs to learn, and it's such a great skill to master in our relationships, is knowing what we want and being able to ask for it, from a place of real clarity, authenticity, and courage to communicate openly. Love that. You're so welcome, Eric. Appreciate you greatly. And yes, Jackie, clarity is king, definitely. Holly, sorry guys, I'm just like, you guys know I'm kind of recovering, so if I'm a bit slow, I'm still recovering. I'm not able to eat much at the moment, and when I do, it's not great. So bear with me while I'm getting through this. But Holly, watched your Byron Katie video this evening. Powerful moments, loving your message tonight. I think many people try to keep the peace instead of asking the right questions. It takes courage to tell people how you feel. Most definitely. And I'm so grateful that you've watched the Byron Katie interview. It was so phenomenal to get to connect with her. I hope all of you guys get a chance to watch that interview. It's something I've had to rewatch because there's just so many golden nuggets, and it's just so higher level consciousness. It's a brilliant interview. So thank you so much, Holly. Love that you gain value from that, and you're gaining value from today's message. And you are so spot on that so many of us, we have best intentions. We're trying to keep the peace. We don't want to upset people. We don't want to burden people. We don't want to step on people's toes. We don't want to walk on eggshells. But at the end of the day, we are selling out on the potential of the depth of quality of relationship we can create with another person if we are not willing to go out with courage and communicate clearly about what we really need, instead of getting caught up in all of the niceties that just keep us in this fake sort of connection. And it's not real, and it's not the deserving of, and that you are able to create in your life. So I really encourage you guys out there who are just wanting to keep the peace to actually recognize, take a longer term vision. If you want a great quality of relationship, you've got to have the courage to get clear and communicate clearly. So I love that, Holly. Thank you so much for sharing. And Soya Cairo, I love having you here. And Chris, yes, men and women have very different perspectives. Men are direct, women like to express rather than solve sometimes, so men get confused. Yes, Most definitely, Chris. And there's so many like funny little things like that between our differences with men and women. And if we're going to be in a partnership, if your relationship is between a man and a woman, no matter if that's intimate or it's a friendship or it's a family relationship or a business relationship, it doesn't matter. We need to understand. We need to be able to meet people in their sandpit and be able to communicate how they interpret things, rather than just get stuck in our own little world and just expect somebody else to get us and get what we're trying to say, without trying to train them and educate them and also understand them and become expert on how they communicate as well. That's a truly extraordinary quality of relationship when we can do that for one another. So I love that you're into that stuff, Chris. Thanks for sharing. And Ram, clarity simplifies, ambiguity complicates. Most definitely. Such a great way of putting it. So the sooner we can get clarity, the sooner we can simplify our lives, and we don't have to get caught up in all of the emotional drain that comes from not getting clear and not having the courage to really communicate authentically and openly. So I love that. And yes, Jackie, Mark Gungor does a great teaching on men's brains and women's brains. Yes, he does. And I love how he talks into the fact he likens a woman's brain as a ball of wire. So every thought, every feeling, every emotion, it's all connected. What we had for dinner is connected to the car that we bought, and it's like connected to the next door neighbor, and it's connected to the shop where we bought the food, and it's like it's all connected. Whereas Mark Gungor talks into men's brains being more like boxes. And he has many boxes, none of the boxes touch each other, and when he's in one box, that's all he's talking about. There's nothing else, nothing is connected. And and he moves to another box, and that's time to communicate about that thing. So I love how he talks into that as well, Jackie, and I think it's just a really funny way of bringing some humor to our differences and getting that we're not the same, and to stop assuming that we are, so that we can actually build better communication and stop all the unnecessary conflict and assumptions. So I love that, Jackie. Thanks for sharing. And David, awesome to have you. And Leroy and Chris, I love it. You're so dedicated. I love it. And Vanessa, sorry, my brain is still very, very slow. I know it's a ball of wire, but it's being really, really slow today. And Candy, awesome to have you. And Victoria, I love that you're feeling this is true. And yes, Jackie, if you're not growing, you're dying, most definitely. And Leroy, action creates the momentum towards your goal. Just start. Definitely, just take those consistent little steps forward. Determine the big picture and then act small. Just take the little steps. They will definitely generate that momentum that you're talking into, Leroy. Thanks for sharing. And Ismail, thanks for joining. And yes, Holly, I have read the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Absolutely love to hear a Facebook feed on the often contrasting communication styles of men and women. Awesome. And have a wonderful day to you, Holly, as well. Yeah, that's one of my very first books that I ever read on relationships. And it's funny, like, so many people don't like that book. I think it's great. John Gray, somebody that I will definitely be looking to interview on my podcast, Limitless Potential. So keep an eye out for that. Been in some communication there. But yeah, just a phenomenal book, just to bring some humor, bring some lightheartedness, take away the seriousness, so that we can actually learn something in terms of our relationships and our differences between men and women in particular. So thanks for sharing, Holly. And Maggie, awesome to have you. And Brian from Chicago, always love having you here. Sorry guys, I'm struggling. Chris, drinking my clarity. I love it. And Jackie, knowing our needs, then expressing them, it is part of the process. Seriously, thanks for the encouragement. Oh, you're so welcome. And yes, exactly. Know your needs, express them, most definitely. If you can't identify and get clear on what your needs are, and you can't have the courage to express them, you're not in real relationship. You're in a fake sort of relationship that's kind of limited. It's living in that desire not to burden another, which ultimately jeopardizes the growth of your relationship. And That's why it's so important for every one of us out there who want to create something extraordinary with another person. We really do need to know our needs and express them, most definitely. Thanks for sharing, Jackie, appreciate you. And Andrew, nice to have you, and David and Sean and Francisco. I'm so grateful that you could join me, and I'm loving that you're loving these messages. Thank you so much for letting me know. Always warms my heart so much to know that I'm adding some sort of value to you guys. And Pakton, nice of you to join me, and Manolo and Michael, and Mike and Mark and Dorcas, awesome to have you guys. And Ram, with authentic clarity, we lead very productive lives, always focused on our priorities. Otherwise, we end up burning our energy in vain. Most definitely. I love that you guys love this stuff. You know this stuff. You're rocking with this stuff. It really lights me up to hear, your perspectives on things. And I love that we're like-minded. So I appreciate that, Ram. Most definitely. And Eric, like in Bill Murray movie, what about Bob? Baby steps. I love it. Definitely, Eric. Thanks for sharing. And yes, Philippe, big hug to you. And definitely, I hope to meet each and every one of you guys out there one day. Definitely a dream of mine. And awesome for you to join me, Michael. Guys, that really is my message for you guys today. I am really still recovering. I'm so burnt out right now. I'm struggling. I might need to have a sit down after this. But I'm going to take in some more of the mountain air and recover, and hopefully be back on track over the coming days. But I have loved having each and every one of you guys here with me. I hope that today's message has been powerful for you, all about the fact that we need both clarity and communication, and that is the solution to all of your relationship problems. Definitely. So you really need to focus on getting clear on who you are, on what you want, and having the courage to communicate openly and honestly about that with anybody that you want to build an extraordinary quality of relationship with. And Evan, I've seen you just join me. I'm just about to sign off. I love having you here. I hope you catch the recording and gain some value from today's message. I am sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, enthusiasm, encouragement, everything brilliant coming at you from wherever you are in the world today. I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. And if you have gained any value from this message, I would absolutely love if you guys would share it. Share it with somebody that you know will find it valuable. That would mean the world to me. I love when you guys share my stuff. It really expands my reach, and I really want to be adding value to as many people as possible. So I love you guys so much for that, and just for being you, and for showing up and giving me your most valuable resource, your time. And I'm sending you my love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.